Welcome back to the Ride and Laugh podcast. If you love mountain biking, you are in the right place. Picture your last really fun group ride. You're back at the parking lot. The Stoke is high. Everyone's talking about the ride, bikes, tech, trails, jumps, drops, nutrition. That's what we talk about here every week on the Ride and Laugh podcast. You love bikes. We love bikes. Let's drop in. Sage, how are you?
Danny, what a week, brother. Oh, it was for all the listeners that don't follow us on Strava. Danny had made a trip down to PA and we had the most amazing week. But before we get into that, a couple shout outs. Our buddy Dylan Barbone, and I hope I pronounced that correctly, got into a car accident, but he's back on the bike. He's on his recovery, which is fantastic. Shout out to Shelly, same thing. Had a little bit of an injury. She's on the recovery. And I also want to shout out my buddy John Hilburn. Thank you for listening.
Oh, John's just getting a shout out. Just like John was part of your mountain bike origin story,
yes,
which we can get into at a later date, but John was very impactful on you getting into mountain biking.
Yeah.
I would just like to clarify, Shelly was not in a car accident. The way you phrased that was that Dylan was in a car accident and Shelly was also, so they were not in the same car, nor was Shelly in a car accident. Shelly did have a tumble off of her bike in Greece, of all places. But universe is looking out. It wasn't a real bad injury, and she'll be back riding soon. And Dylan, sorry to hear that, brother. Dylan, our original #1 fan, which we met him and he was like, I'm your biggest fan. We had like 6 episodes. He's like, I'm your biggest fan. You probably hear this all the time. And Sage and I were like, we've actually never heard that before.
First time.
Ever.
First time.
It was really cool. It was a long time ago, and we met him at Mountain Creek, and he recognized us, and he loved the pod, and he said it was impactful. Yeah. And for us, like that, we were just starting to hear that. We hear that more often now, and thank you, listeners that write and laugh one at Gmail or put it in the YouTube comments or Instagram comments. It's really cool. But Dylan was one of the first guys that really was like, hey, you guys are doing something really cool, and certainly appreciate that, and wish him a speedy recovery. Got to see Dylan back on the bike. Yeah. Man, we got so much to talk about today. We did a quick rip last week. Everyone listening knows that we did a quick rip, a really good quick rip. I really enjoyed editing, sitting in, because we do the quick rips a lot of times before we need them. So I know you and I kind of forget about what we talked about.
That's right.
And you sent it to me and you were like, hey, this one's really good. And it was on injuries, and we'll talk about it on next episode. We'll see what kind of comments people have. But it was a really interesting take. However, we have 2 podcasts to talk about, plus my trip to Pennsylvania. And it was a work trip, so it wasn't all riding, but we did fit in a lot of riding, and the weather cooperated, and we saw a bunch of really awesome people, and we did some really cool and awesome things. So let's get into reviewing because we got to get our listener comments. I love our listener comments, so we can't skip over reviewing our episodes. So episode 13 was hardtail speed secrets, GPS frustrations, wild animals, and mountain bike shake weight. Kind of going back a little bit, right? Yeah. Brian Patrick said that we were talking about the side fist bump versus the regular fist bump.
Yes.
And Brian says the side fist bump happens when sitting on the bike beside someone. It's much easier than contorting your body for a traditional fist bump. And we have been using the side.
I've been trying it. Bump. It's comfortable. Yeah. It's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I need to contort my body to get to the front fist bump. I don't remember ever doing yoga before a ride so that I could line up my fist bumps correctly.
Yes.
But it's definitely a thing. And that was the listener feedback was, the fist bump can be much more casual than what you guys are doing as the official fist bump. We talked about the shake weight as the fist bump training and also demonstrating what the side fist bump looked like with the shake weight.
Yes.
Which is not flattering for you and I on YouTube.
Oh, boy.
And Andy Snyder said the shake weight has a male and female version. It was originally designed for females. This had me rolling.
No comment.
Do we want to make a female shake weight joke? I don't know. I can't make this joke. It's a family pod. All right, we'll take it out. It's out.
It's out.
I don't know what to say now. What now? I just have no comment. That's very un-Danny like.
Well, I have to say,
bleep it, and our adult listeners can figure it out. I'll bleep it.
Yeah.
Wait a second, Sage. Isn't the female shake weight?
A blip.
the same thing as a beep. Oh. There, the kids have no idea what you're talking about. Mom and Dad probably figured it out.
Yeah. Hey, I'm surprised that was even a thing for. I didn't even realize that there was a female version, let alone it was made for females first.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not on that marketing team. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But fair enough.
I did look it up, and the female version is just it's just lighter than the male version, or the male version's heavier, however you want to phrase that.
Yeah.
And then I watched a review on Consumer Reports, and they were talking about it versus regular weightlifting. And, being a sponsor of Shake Weight, I don't know that I really want to say the results. Maybe I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
Because, I don't want to knock one of our sponsors. I'm a man of integrity. So I'm not going to say whether or not the Shake Weight did better than regular weights, regular workouts or not. And maybe that's why the Shake Weight went the way of the dodo bird.
Until now, the new fist bump training tool. Yes.
That's right. Mm-hmm. They didn't know the mountain bike market. It wasn't ready yet.
That's right. Yes.
Right. Low Key MTB, which is our buddy Nikki Shreds, talking about, you said go faster on the hardtail and it'll be smoother.
That's right.
And I argued with you and I was wrong and you were correct.
Hey.
Nick says, Dan, Mythbusters tested speed versus vibration oscillation. Sage is right. The more speed you carry, the less time available for vibration, making it a smoother ride. And pro downhill riders will agree it's easier to clear chunk with speed. And I have certainly felt that on my full suspension when I'm confident and comfortable to let go of the brakes. The faster you go, the smoother it feels. So playing with that on a hardtail is something I'm going to have to experiment with.
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, hey, we were just at Blue Mountain when you were down here. And man, those trails are pretty, I mean, they're flow trails, but they have got some chunk and braking bumps. And my goodness, the slower you go on those, I mean, you really feel the chatter, and the faster you can go, it does help a lot. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. All right. That's something to play with. Listeners, let us know if you've played with that, especially on your hardtails, but going faster, making it smoother. Very cool stuff. All right. Let's hop up to episode 14, which was mountain bike training hacks, wheel size wars, and chamois cream confessions.
Oh boy.
I mean, let's get to the cream later. We'll save the
cream
for later.
Save the cream for later.
The cream will rise to the top. On the wheel size, Mark Sandoval, I thought, had an excellent point. He said 27.5 plus bikes aren't being phased out. We talked about the plus tire versus the bigger wheel, and 27.5 versus 29 versus 32 is a possibility. So Mark said 27.5 plus bikes aren't being phased out. People aren't buying them, and therefore bike companies stopped selling them. When 29 plus and 27.5 plus came out, they were better than riding the 29.23 tire on a 23 millimeter rim. So a narrow tire on a narrow rim. However, later with further evolution, they weren't better than riding a 29, a regular, the standard size wheel now, with a 2.4 or 2.6 tire on a 30 millimeter rim, so the wider rim. Turns out being taller is better than being wider, and that's why 27.5 and 27.5 plus have died out. So I hope that wasn't too confusing. Essentially, he's saying that taller wheels on wider rims was better than shorter wheels on narrow rims, and shorter wheels on even wider.
I don't know that.
Did I not do that right?
I don't think you did it right, but it was also a lot of numbers. But
everyone that's listening is like cross-eyed right now. Thanks. I'm taking my morning coffee, and you guys are like just yelling numbers at me.
Yeah. Well, my two takeaways were if bike companies aren't selling them because they're not being sold, isn't that the same thing as being phased out? I don't know. It sounds like it's the same thing, but.
Yeah, I guess it is. I always feel like talking to you that you like felt like 27.5 tires were being discontinued by bike companies and they had some other agenda behind it, but
no, they're just not selling. And to
it's just not selling.
And and to the gentleman's point, like if they're not selling, why are we making them? It's just it's a waste. And that's the crime of it all. And then as for his point about the 29-inch versus a 27, I totally agree. And I think we made that point on the pod, or at least I was trying to make the point that the wider tire is not as helpful as a rounder, larger tire. I think the rollover capability of a 29 is far more useful on the trail than having a smaller, like 27.5 plus tire. And I was making the argument that, you know, it's sometimes it's better to have your tires bite and grip in. And so having that like in between like size that's a little bit fatter, it's not that helpful. The fat bike is different. And we're trying to like this. My point was like all over the place on that episode, and I apologize. But like for me, the fat bike is so fat that it does help to like minimize stuff on the trail because it's just so wide. But like just a little bit wider, it's not as helpful as having a bigger wheel is my point. And I would agree with the gentleman that left that comment. So thank you.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Well, thanks, Mark, for writing that in. And apparently Sage made that point on the podcast and I just didn't get it.
No, I made it terribly.
Which is not uncommon. Okay. Because I feel like I'm pretty dense sometimes. I oftentimes like listen back to especially podcasts from like a couple months ago. And I'm like, oh yeah, Sage is making a really good point there. And I'm just like, just not understanding. Yeah. Like I'm like arguing the opposite end. And like, no, you're dialed into the mountain bike world. I think your mountain bike takes are really good. I think you should think about like having a podcast or something. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'm biased in how popular I think 27.5 wheels are because I ride so much with you and you love the 27.5 so much. And I ride with AJ and he loves the 27.5. So like you know, you're like the very vocal minority, like the people that love these bikes, just like single speeders, right? The people that love these bikes are so vocal about them. But really, if I think about it, I don't know anyone else that's ever, I can't think of anyone else that I really ride with that's like, yeah, I miss having 27.5. You know, maybe there are other people, but they certainly don't talk about it the way that you two do.
Yeah. Yeah. AJ's my boy.
All right. Well, we also like just kind of like, casually we're talking about wearing chamois cream and how important the chamois cream is to us and how crazy it is that people don't wear chamois if people don't wear it, let alone don't wear a chamois. And the feedback is that we are completely in the minority. Apparently Big Chamois has pulled the wool over our big cream, big lube. I mean, Big Lube has completely pulled the wool over our eyes. They've smeared it with chamois cream. We couldn't see anything. We're completely fooled. We're the only ones buying this stuff. I mean,
cream in our eyes.
What is going on? Why are we wearing all this chamois cream? Nobody else is wearing it. Everyone was like, I don't wear it, or I only wear it if I'm riding over like 70 miles and 65 hours.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, there's video of you like slathering it on you're pre-creaming. You're slathering it on your chamois.
Oh.
So you put it on there was a video of you putting it on the chamois.
Yeah.
Do you put it on your chamois or do you rub it directly onto your body?
I had to do that to illustrate it for that was a video I did for the bib shorts. And so I was making the illustration, but yes, I do put it on the chamois as well as my person, but that's not like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I put it on the area, flip the hand around and put a little bit on the chamois, but now I'm wondering maybe I'm not going to try it. Maybe I'm going to try not doing anything and see how that goes. I don't want to risk it.
I am nervous. Yeah, I mean, like, how much of this is just like old school stuff that we did because we were XC riders for so long and the bikes maybe were so uncomfortable, or maybe we were riding the wrong saddles for a long time. And, you know, we just like got into these habits of like always putting chamois cream on no matter what. I mean, I know the saddle fit is a big deal, but I've had my hip bone measured. Like, I think I ride the right saddle. My undercarriage is uncomfortable sitting on a saddle for 2-3 hours.
Yeah, I know. I'm nervous to try it, but maybe the thing is, like, if it fails and we get like, you know, a saddle sore, then you're like, mother, you know, like it's a horrible thing to experiment with. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's playing with fire. We've gotten saddle sores, but it's been a really long time. When's the last time you got a saddle sore?
Oh, well, you know me, I road bike all the time, so I still get them. Even with the saddle cream, I still get them, you know, depending on how hard I'm going and how many rides I get. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like if I'm riding like 3-4 days in a row, if you're out here and we're visiting or we're on a bike trip or something like that, like my undercarriage is getting sore. And the amount of people that never wear cream and never and don't even wear chamois was blowing my mind.
That's nuts. That is, I'm not going to go that far. I mean, maybe I won't do the cream, but like, I'm not going without the chamois. I'm not going out without the bib.
It wasn't universal.
Yeah.
I'm not either. And I don't wear bibs, just so everyone knows, like
yeah, you do the shorts.
However, I can't see mountain biking without a chamois, without padding down there. I mean, I wear the trainer. Like I just can't see it. There was a lot of people that said they'd still wear the chamois, and it was maybe half. I mean, it wasn't nearly as much as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So when we say someone has, when you and I refer to someone with an iron taint, that's so funny to say that seriously. Sorry, I couldn't say it with a straight face. Does that mean that, to me, that meant no chamois cream, but still wearing the chamois? Or did you, for you, was the iron taint no chamois and no chamois cream?
Yeah, no chamois cream was that's the true.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
Okay.
But apparently it's
because
it's not really an iron taint if everybody's doing it. Yeah.
Everyone's got it. No, apparently we have very delicate taints. I would say that we are the minority.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone's got regular taints, and we have these little.
Yeah. What's the opposite of iron?
Delicate.
Marshmallow taints? I don't know. What's soft?
Glass?
Glass taints.
We have glass taints.
Oh, jeez.
So, Sean, 17-year-old shredder. I don't think he's had his birthday yet, but I know it's coming up. But nonetheless, young man, he says he's never used a chamois cream before. And he says, I guess I have a diamond taint.
Oh.
So I think the guys and girls that are not using the chamois and not using the cream, diamond taint.
Wow. All right, then. Sean's also really young, by the way.
Oh.
Like.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
You think our taints have been through a little bit of abuse, like they need a little bit more loving? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Don't come at me with this young man's taint. Just I could just see like the old guys, sitting around the table and just being like, yeah, well, that's the way I was when I was young also. Wait till you turn 50 and see how your taint feels. Yeah. If I had a nickel for every young man that told me his taint didn't. You and your young taints. I remember when I was your age. I had a diamond taint too. Made out of glass now. All right. Ridiculous conversation. Let's get into our riding, which was really a long weekend of jumping. We really focused on jumping. I don't have jumps in Arizona. And we knew we wanted to get to the bike park. So when I flew in, we had one day before I had to work for a bunch of days. And we went to Mount Penn and we rode Boom Sauce.
Yeah.
And we rode Skyline, and we really wanted to start let's get Danny in the air. Let's get comfortable because we wanted to do bike parks later in the week. Before we get into the actual experience of the rides, I have a question for you.
Oh,
based on your experience, and listeners, I want listener feedback on this one as well. Ride and Laugh One at Gmail or YouTube comments. Which is better, case or overshoot on a jump?
Oh, wow. What a great question.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Me and my weak taint,
I guess,
me and my weak taint could, we come up with some good ones every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What a good question for someone with such a delicate taint.
Yeah. Glass taint coming strong. Yeah, seriously. But I guess that would depend on the landing, right? What's the landing look like? You know what I mean? And what's the case pad look like? But I guess let's just take a regular landing, regular case pad. I think I'd rather overshoot. I think I would overshoot. And I do that. I say that too. Like, it's like when we did the drop at Blue Mountain, I was like, better to be long than short, and I think that's my philosophy. I'll put, if I'm nervous about something, I'll add a stroke or two more than I need because I'd rather overshoot. Why? Do you prefer casing?
No, I was thinking about it as I was casing and overshooting. We're dialing in these jumps.
Yeah.
And a bad case is very, very dangerous. If your front wheel clears a big jump and your back wheel doesn't,
yes.
that happened to me when we were practicing on jump one on Upper Empire at Blue Mountain. It's a really big jump, and it sent me sideways. I mean, it was really dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think overshooting, like, you have more of a chance to catch that landing. You obviously don't want to go all the way to flat, but I think that, like, for people that are learning how to jump and getting into jumping or at a new jump line and just don't have the mega confidence yet, like, what we really want to do is, like, just clear it. We don't want to, like, overshoot too much. And that just means a lot of casing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I do think that overshooting is probably smarter. Yet my default on approaching all these big, scary, lippy jumps at high speed is to squeeze more brake and case.
Yeah, is the case. That's so weird. You're absolutely right. That is your default. And that is my default too, actually, for jumps, because I'm just letting go of less brake more and more and more. I guess.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe
I think that's normal.
Maybe it has to do with the difference between a drop and a jump. You know, like on a drop, I tend to overshoot, and on a jump, because I'm trying to figure out the right speed, I'll undershoot. But you are absolutely right. Every time we're
drop
doing
is
it,
different. Sorry, this is for jumping, not for drops. This is for jumping.
Right. So, but every time we were doing that, in my brain, I was like, this is really dumb. Like, it would be so much easier.
I know.
If I just let it go. You know, it'd feel so much better and be so much safer. And yet mentally, I can't seem to get over that. You know who makes me nervous, and I love him, but Steve at Ben Spokes goes the perfect speed, and it makes me so nervous. And I'm like, every time I follow Steve, I'm like, Steve, your speed plus a little bit more for me if I'm following you, because, like, man, he cuts it so close, man. It's like he never cases, but it's like his tire's just on the edge because he just knows the speed of these jumps and drops so well. And it makes me so nervous because as you're going over the jump, you're like, am I going to make this? And it's like, whoo, oh my.
I think that what you're hitting on is that, and people tell us that we jump fast, that we ride these trails fast.
Yes.
You know, anytime we ride with good experienced jumpers, they're usually like, oh, you guys ride these really fast.
Yeah.
And to Josh's Slanted Grounds point, a while back, is that we're using speed.
That's right.
You know, and I know that you've been practicing at Phoenixville Bike Park, doing the jumps as slow as possible, using that technique. But for people that are beginner, intermediate level jumpers, going up to bigger and bigger jumps, like, you have this mindset of just getting over it.
Yeah.
Is clearing it, not going as high as you can. That's scarier.
Right.
And I think that's just, the mind is scared. We're coming up to this wall of dirt, you know, it looks scary, and it's just repetition. And so that's, Josh used to say, and still does, I'm sure, to be a small jump hero. Get comfortable in the smaller jumps, right? But as you're working up to these bigger jumps, you have to overcome this ingrained fear, this primal fear that, and then the repetition, the stacking wins, the unlocking. Okay, I am arcing correctly. I got this. If I let go of the brake, this is going to be the right speed. I don't let go of the brake more and more. It's just kind of like battling that fear response. Maybe the older you are, the more ingrained that is as well.
Yeah. I was going to say, you're right. We do get that comment a lot, that we hit jumps with speed, but you are also correct in that when I've been going to the Phoenixville Bike Park, one of the things I have been working on is going slower and boosting. And I like that more. It seems to be like, and by the way, this isn't including racers, because we ride with the guy, Ethan, who you got to meet, and he does do things at speed, but he has to. He's racing, but he also scrubs. Yes. Like he's doing it really fast, but he's able to scrub that jump so he stays really low.
What does that? What does that mean for people that don't know the term?
Scrubbing a jump is basically you are trying to absorb the jump as much as possible, and there's a few ways that you can do that. But one way that you'll often see people do that is they'll do a really low table. So they'll turn the bike to the side and really just kind of not scrape across, but like really hover right across the table of the jump, and they're basically, it's like, how fast can I get my wheels back onto the ground? Because having traction is way more important than just skying it up in the air. That's seconds lost. Back to what I was saying, which is, boosting jumps, what I found is I actually get more control by doing it that way. Yes, you have to put more into it, right? There's more that goes into a jump if you're going to boost it. Like, you have to actually get active on the bike. But being active on the bike actually helps in many ways. You know, it also buys you time to do moves. And I tend to dead sailor a lot when I'm not doing stuff. And I hate that feeling even more. Like the dead sailor is worse than the case for me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's the worst feeling is not being in control, not arcing correctly, not being sure where your tires are going to come down. Yeah, that's absolutely the worst feeling. We one of the guys we rode with at Mount Penn was Tom, Big Tom, who's an outstanding jumper, and we got to the bottom of Skyline, and he said, "Yeah, put a move in. It's really important to move the bike in the air." And we were like, "Oh, you know, we could have used that advice a year ago when we were figuring that out for ourselves." But but that's true. It really is. I had a hard time putting moves in on some of these really big jumps at Mountain Creek and Blue Mountain. I was just in, let me just get comfortable mode.
Yeah. Yeah. And to your point about what you just said about Tom, even if we got that advice earlier, that wouldn't have been the appropriate time to initiate that practice, implement. You know, yes, implement. Yeah. Thank you. You know, we're at that stage now where this is the right time. You're clearing jumps. And so you're getting bigger and bigger in jumps. That's the time to start implementing moves, not when you first start to jump. And maybe I'm wrong. You know, I am a coach though. So, yeah, I mean, hey. Who
are you arguing with right now? You're like, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm not. Hey, you talking to me? Is there a mirror in front of you? Are you talking to me? Well, it's so much more comfortable to add moves when you're doing a jump that you're comfortable on. Right. So, you know, when you step it up from, you know, Phoenixville Bike Park to Blue Mountain or Downhill Bike Park or Mountain Creek or, you know, any of these, I pick a bike park anywhere in the country that has like a legitimate black diamond size jumps. It's high speed and it's way more time in the air.
Yeah.
So it's just, for me, it's just, I mean, being able to get more repetition on those things is awesome.
You know what I do know that you and I both do, and this, I don't know if this qualifies as a move, but we used to have this double clutch. That was our safety. Like, you know,
that's a move.
You and I weren't doing tables. We're not doing bar turns, but I always remember like that double clutch move, you know, where you're in the air and you kind of like pull the bike up to your chest in a weird way. You know, you're kind of pumping the bike in air. It looks weird.
You just
but
pump
like,
the bike. Yeah.
It was a safety thing for me. Like I just felt like, oh, I could gain another foot. Probably not, but it felt like that, you know?
It was a huge deal. When I started to get comfortable jumping, I always did that little clutch, that little pump in the air with the bike. I didn't realize at the time that, oh, if I just do it sideways, now I'm starting to do a bar turn or a table, you know, and just, it looks a little bit cooler. But absolutely, it was getting that gyroscopic motion in the air, getting that a little bit of stability in the air, a little bit of confidence. And as we said, giving your brain a little something to do. So you're not just up there waiting for the landing.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of getting ourselves in the air, I thought that the Mount Penn ride, and especially how we hit it, you know, we warmed up on Boom Sauce and then went to Skyline, which is their premier jump line trail. And my gosh, man, you missed a beat, bro. You didn't miss a beat. You were so comfortable in the air, which is spot on for you. I mean, you've always been a comfortable man in the air. Whereas me, it's like, it's always been a struggle, but like for you, it's like, it just clicks and you showed your colors.
Man in the air.
A comfortable, an air.
You've always been a comfortable man in the air. Yes. Yeah. A classy man in the air.
Hello.
You may have a glass taint, my friend, but it looks fantastic in the air. Yeah, I don't need any shaving cream up in there. No, you know, it's free flowing. Yeah. I appreciate the compliment. I did feel the rustiness on the bigger jumps.
Yeah.
There's jumps here in Arizona and desert trails. Everyone's heard about my desert trails, you know, jumpy experience. So I'm looking forward to getting back there and using what we just did. Nothing like using that bike park progression, you know, taking it to your local trails. Anyone that's been on a bike vacation or gone to the bike park and then ridden their local trails, like there is a bump there. You know, when you're on your bike for a lot and you're progressing and then you take them to the local trails, that can always be a cool experience. I definitely, so the new Boom Sauce Trail, which is one of the Mountain Pen jump trails, and that's I think designed and then redesigned and reworked by Sean, our buddy Sean at Sticks and Stones Trail Company. Awesome local trail builder in Pennsylvania. Awesome dude. The redesign is fantastic. There's a nice little gap option in there, and then tables instead of more humps or rollers as they're actually called. That was the trail that we were humping incorrectly. Awesome. Just a great trail and really fun. And then we did Skyline, and we talked about the big 5 jumps there. And I had a hard time letting go of the brakes on all of them. It took me a little bit. Yeah. Started to get it towards the end of the day, and we did a couple full runs, and we rode the top and the bottom blind. Where I rode behind you. I hadn't ridden them in, probably a year, because the last time I visited it was January, and we weren't riding, the jump trails weren't open. So it had been a really long time, and I was really happy to be able to flow through that and have the confidence to and now I've ridden those trails a lot. So
yeah. To me, I thought it was interesting how just certain things suit different people's eyes, and jumping is one of those things that just suits it always has, for me, it's like slabs and skinnies and, tech in general. I love the more insane it is, the more I like it, but jumps never suit me. And you've always been the type, you literally walk up right to it and be like, yeah, we got it. And then boom. And it was just amazing to see that happen. I mean, okay, yeah, you had a little bit of rust, but I mean, that's going to be anyone. You haven't jumped like that in what, 8 months, 9 months? Let's cut each other a little grace here. Yeah, a little bit of grace.
Yeah, probably more than that, because you have to go back to last summer
on a bike that you're not used to riding. This bike is way longer than your Pivot. Yes. A little more grace.
Yes. I am fortunate to have another bike in Sage's basement that I can come to Pennsylvania and ride. That was the plan. It's working. Oh, well, it worked this week. At least it's not working as much as we wanted to. We want to ride more together, but all in perfect timing. What did you think of? So we got to Mountain Creek, and as we're driving up there, we had heard that the Tempest Trail was closed, which is their kind of intermediate jump line that we really love. And it's got a really great drop in it. But if you're looking for things always working out for us, the side effect of that was that we warmed up on a green trail and then a blue trail, and then we went right to Dominion. And those jumps are big. It is so well built. They rebuilt the jumps at the top that we wanted to get a little bit more warmed up into. But both of us ended up clearing everything by the end of the day and sending the Covenant drop in the flow of the ride.
Yeah.
With the booter. I mean, it was just awesome.
Yeah. I was, man, what a day, dude. What an absolute day. And I think you're right. Tempest being closed might have been the best thing and I was really looking forward. That's one of my favorite drops, that Anthem drop, but that being closed and, it forcing us to go right onto Dominion, man, kudos to that bike park. They do it right there, and hitting the Covenant drop felt really good. I was really more excited about the Lower Dominion. At Lower Dominion, they had those 3 jumps, and I have so many videos of me not clearing that jump. And it was like, we talk about not going into these things with expectations, and I don't ever go in with expectations, but I do set goals. I have certain goals that I would like to do, and hitting those 3 jumps was one of those goals. I was like, this is going to really cement it in for me. And I went right for it right off the bat, man. And what's nice about that is you can loop back around. You don't have to go all the way down the mountain. You can just session those 3 jumps. And, when you're struggling mentally, and if you have a bike park that has access to something like that, where you don't have to go all the way to the top, you can session a small section. I highly recommend that, because for me, it just gets me into that right zone. And if a bike park builds a jump right, they're all going to be very similar. They're going to be slight nuances, but the lips are going to be very similar. So if you're clearing this, then, okay, I know I just need a little bit more speed here, or whatever it is. You're just getting comfortable with that. And that really helped me out, being able to session those 3 jumps. I'd never cleared them.
You had never cleared those before. And I believe you cleared all 3 of them first run.
I was so excited. Yes.
Yeah. I heard the hooting and hollering, and then it was like, hey, let's do it again. Let's lock it in. Right. But also, there's improvement. Anyone that's gotten into the jump game at all, and mountain biking in general, you can do something, but you can usually feel like, oh, I could do that better.
Yeah.
Whether it's putting a move in or just being a little bit more confident, and getting a little pushing into the jump a little bit more. I don't think that's something at the big bike parks, the big jumps. I don't think we're necessarily pushing into those slippier jumps yet. There's some jumps at the bottom of that Dominion run, that lower Dominion, which is an awesome run.
Yeah.
And there's some jumps there that I'm like, okay, I know that I have just enough speed here, so I need to boost this. And so I'm pushing into it and I'm really letting it go.
Yeah.
But those lippy jumps in the beginning, I just don't have that confidence yet. It's just a matter of repetition. Everyone get out there and get a jump that you're comfortable on and just start playing on it.
Yeah.
And then go to the next one and the next one. I mean, it's just mountain bike progression. I agree. Sessioning those 3 jumps on Salvation or Lower Dominion, whatever you want to call that trail, they're not as lippy, but they're still really big. They send really nicely, and it just gives you a bit more confidence. So anytime that you can session jumps, even if you're in the middle of a bike park day, that's a great idea.
Not only that, Danny, but like you being there, and again, you haven't been there, and well, actually, I guess the last time that we were there together. So I guess we were both same amount of time, but there was a couple of sections where, I needed to get your advice. Like, and that's nice when you have someone that you trust, and it's like, hey, what's the speed on this? Like that little ramp thing at the end of the bridge. I'd never hit that before. And I'm like, is this going to buck me? I just turned to you. I was like, dude, what's the speed on this? And you're like, oh, it's very similar to this. And it's like, okay, I got it, And so, riding with someone else that you trust inspires a lot of confidence. And you helped me through a few of those, man.
Yeah. Well, I kind of had a little bit of the opposite effect at Blue Mountain the next day. So I think that we talked about this on a recent pod. They rebuilt after the drop on Upper Empire into this like big 5 jumps. They had rebuilt the first jump, and it's now lippier and taller than ever.
Yeah.
And the first time you hit it, last time you were there, you oversent it, landed to flat, and broke your bike.
Right. But
so that was in our minds.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. The brake on your bike broke, but the bike, the impact, right, essentially broke the bike.
It was jarring. Yes.
So that was on my mind, that trail speed is not correct for that jump. And I was following you, and you were not comfortable sending it on that, and you were purposely landing on top, and I was not learning speed on that jump. I said, I think I got to go in front of you.
Yeah.
I think I got to go in front of you and start to like case this jump my way. Let me, which essentially was a really, landing on top, but learning that speed. And then by the second run in, I was clearing it.
Yeah.
Though it was terrifying. It really does send. But that goes both ways. So know your riders, talk to each other.
Right.
Like, are you giving me confidence? And sometimes someone just stays in the back of the pack, and you should be moving up. Maybe you have a higher slot, right, for that particular
right. Yeah.
that particular trail. Yeah, and you knew all the speed on all the drops. I wanted to go behind you because we weren't stopping to look at this stuff.
Right.
But when it came to that, like, you just didn't have the confidence. And then later in the day, you did.
Hey, now.
So that was pretty awesome also.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I don't want to give you too much, because then I know it's hard to respond to it all. But I did think it was interesting that at the end of the day, when you finally cleared it, you told me the reason is because we ran into Christian, who a rider from Mount Penn, yes. And he was following you, and that gave you the motivation you didn't want to mess him up. Messing me up was fine, but you didn't want to mess Christian up. So yeah, Christian's got a legitimate taint. Okay, like, you're a delicate taint. Hey. I have no. Yeah. No, this is weird. I shouldn't talk about another man. Like, you have no idea what kind of taint he has. You told me I could say taint on this podcast, and now I've just completely taken advantage of it. That's it. You're like, you know what? It. You're cut off.
You're cut off. That's
no more taint talk.
Quota reached. Yeah.
You have a separate. You can have your own podcast called Taint Talk if you want, but that's enough on the right and left.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, that whole day you and I were leapfrogging, which is the way to do it. There are certain sections that might have more turns or something like that. And it's like, well, I'm a stronger turner than you are. because I'm just a smaller guy. And then there's, drops and stuff like that.
You're really good at cornering.
Thank you.
It's not a size thing. You're really good at cornering. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. So, if there's a section where there's tighter turns, you'll let me go in front. We do that. We'll leapfrog back and forth. And when we were getting to that upper empire, those big 5 jumps, I said I'd take you through the drop, but I knew, I said to you, I said, I'm not clearing one and you're going to want to jump ahead of me at some point. And I'm glad that you did that. You doing that actually helped me out too, because I felt really terrible. It's like, oh, there's all this pressure. That's different from the pressure that I felt from Christian. And he did not say anything. This was not on Christian. It's all on me. I just was like, oh boy, okay, this is someone I don't know, someone that I can't really turn around. And I did warn him. I said, listen, I haven't cleared one. And he's like, well, I'm hit or miss sometimes. And I'm just starting my day. And I was like, okay, well, just give me some space. But in my head, I'm like, well, you better let this thing go, boy. And yeah, I did. And it was fantastic. I hit one so well. I cased a little bit, but I hit it so well that I almost cleared 2, which gave me the juice to clear 3. And once you clear 3, 4 and 5 just fall right into place. The point of all of that to say, yeah, thank you. The point of all that to say is like, it's such a mind. I almost dropped a bad word there. It's such a mind messer. How do I say what I'm trying to say? Mind taint?
Mind taint?
Mind taint. Oh my goodness. It's
such a...
You know what I'm trying to say? Like that wall is so tall and it's so lippy and you just like, I couldn't get myself to just let it go. But when I did, I was like, oh, this feels so much better. I mean, we started the pod with this.
Yes.
And I was like, what are you doing? Like, it felt so much better. Just let it go.
Landing it feels so much better.
Yes.
Yeah. Landing feels so much better than casing. Yeah. It's crazy. I had the hardest time letting go on some of the lower empire jumps because you just have to go in so fast.
Yeah.
And every single time I would squeeze brake and then I would get 3/4 of the way across this thing. And I'm like, why?
Why did I do that?
Why did I squeeze brake? Yes. And then the next run, I'm coming up and I'm like, no, it's too fast. I better squeeze. I better just tap the brake a little bit. Just a little bit. And then bam, both jumps ruined. And it wasn't until the very end of the day when I just completely, all right, I'm not touching. And I'm like talking to myself, you got this. Don't touch speed. Don't touch the brake.
Yeah.
And finally, it's what a relief. And it sends exactly perfectly. You're like, yes, I got it. And now it's time to go home.
Yeah.
I think it's really, you ready? I do think there's a psychology there now that we talk about this of the rider following you that does level us up. It does focus us. I've noticed that if you were to come to my home trails or a trail that I know and I'm leading you through it, it does focus you. Ride and Laugh 1 at Gmail and YouTube comments. Have you noticed that? And what do we think that is? That leading someone makes us a better rider when we're leading? What do you think, Sage?
Yeah, I do think that, I'm actively, sometimes I'm even like actively calling out stuff, which if I'm calling it out, then I'm also calling it out for myself, So it's like, you're just like, it's like affirmations in a weird way. It's like, if I know a drop's coming, I might turn around, or if I can't turn around, I might just be like, Danny, big drop coming up or something like that. And then it's like, oh yeah, Sage, big drop coming up. Like, it's an affirmation for myself as well. So there's an added focus there. Maybe that's not everyone, but I tend to like not have things in my head. So saying things doesn't really hurt me. But if you're someone that just likes absolute silence, and maybe that's not a good thing. I don't know. That'd be an interesting one to hear from our listeners,
It's not even like you yelling it out, because if
it's true,
it's just that the person in front, when you're leading a ride, I think it sharpens. If you know people are counting on you to put down a good line.
Yeah.
And
speed.
Yeah. And I think that sharpens the focus. Yeah. I think there's something about it. Have you ever been on a solo ride and pretended that you're giving someone a tour? Like even like anticipation, I've been here in Arizona and like anticipated you coming. And like, if Sage is behind me, this is the line I want to take. Really? Like, oh, I'm excited about this trail. Yeah. And sometimes I'll because I've noticed that I ride better if I'm leading someone.
Huh. Do you have Jeff pretend he's me? You're like, listen, I need you to become half Asian. Yeah. Sage is coming, Jeff. I need you to pretend you're.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Jeff Winter's like, he's led me plenty of times going really slow. Like, I'm not getting this effect at all from Dad. As I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, it's actually probably not always true. It's not always true. Because I let him down Holbert and he was just like, can I just go in front of you? Because this is way too slow. Yeah. Not everybody rides tech this slow, Dan. In fact, nobody does. You and your gentle taint. Let an iron taint through.
That's right,
okay?
yeah.
Iron taint speed coming through.
Step aside, glass. That's so funny.
I got to go slow. I got to be careful. I got this delicate undercarriage.
Yeah, we can't crack the glass. I mean, come on now. Jeez. Yowzers. Wow.
We cannot finish this podcast without talking about our experience at Phoenixville Bike Park, because the Stoke level at that place is so high. And we had people, this could be one of our gratitudes of the week. You use it all the time. Maybe I'll use this as my mountain bike gratitude of the week. The Phoenixville Bike Park and everyone that came out, Keaton and Ethan and Ryan, and we were putting up posts saying that we were going to be places like basically a half an hour before we showed up. So it really wasn't fair to anybody. And I knew people wanted to see me when I was in town. And like, it was just really hard to meet up because I was working and a lot of things were touch and go. But these guys like made an effort to get to Phoenixville Bike Park. And you've been there so much this summer and I could see why. It is so much fun. The jumps are legit. There's so many things that you can practice on them. I'm so jealous. I'm so envious. I'm so happy for you and for everyone that gets to ride that place. But those 5 jumps are just so much to be able to practice on them as far as putting in moves and getting confident, even if it's just clearing it, whatever it is. I mean, we progress so much in that place and seeing you like throw down bar turns and whips and just being comfortable and coaching kids there and getting kids over the intermediate jump for the first time. And then getting to see, Ryan and Keaton and Ethan, who are just such high level riders. Yeah. Ethan's a downhill racer and he only had his downhill bike, but he wanted to come hang out. He's like, I'll come. So he brought his downhill bike and he was performing like other feats of amazingness on that bike instead of just the regular jumps. But man, just like the vibes of that place are so awesome, and there's so much potential there. It's just really a great place, and I appreciate everyone that came out and everyone that goes to any place like this around the country. These are awesome places. I wish there was more places like this.
Yeah. Is that your gratitude?
It can be, or do you? I'm happy to make that my gratitude, but I have plenty to be I have plenty to be gracious for. I have lots of gratitudes, so I can do another one if you want to. Extend the pot a little bit.
No, I want to piggyback a little bit because I was so glad that you got to experience that again, because you're right. It's not like desert trails. This is like this place. It's popping all the time. And the jumps are built really well. They're built by Dirt Sculpt. They knew what they're doing. And the progression is just nonstop. I mean, we went with our full suspension bikes because that's what happened to be in our cars. But if that gets to be too easy, hey, start bringing your DJ, go flats, bring a BMX bike. Like there's always something to work on. And that's what I love about Feasible Bike Park. Like I'm almost there every weekend and it's like, I'm not getting bored of it. And I was so glad that you got to see everybody. And yes, I did feel bad that our posts were coming out last minute, but people did their best and it was great, man. It was great to see everybody. So yeah, agree with your gratitude. That is not my gratitude. My gratitude is a very odd gratitude. And I guess the big picture is my gratitude is you, but I'm going to get really specific here. And on our drive back from Mountain Creek, we kept getting stuck behind these car towing vehicles, and it kept extending our drive home. And you and I, we made this whole joking bit about it. But after I got home and I really started thinking about it, and I said, you know what? This was the universe saying, here's some more time with your best bud. And you know what? I have this tremendous amount of gratitude for the 3 or 4 tow trucks that happened to get in our way and everything. Every time they would turn off a street, we're like, yes, we're free. Another car towing truck thing would pull in front and here we are going way slower than the speed limit. It was very frustrating, but funny at the same time. But man, did we have some great laughs. And man, I love you, bro. It was great to have you down here. So thank you to all the towing companies. I'm sure they were all in cahoots to get us to go slower so that we would have more time together.
I love it. We talk about all the time. We talk about everything. Let's change our perspective so that everything happens for us. So how do we flip this really annoying, slow vehicles in front of us after a long day and we just wanted to get home, right? And so slow, and it was just one after another, and we avoided one. We finally got away from the one. When you're driving and like the slow car or truck that's in front of you and you can't pass, they're windy roads and they keep making the same turn as you. Like every time you come to a turn, they're making the same turn. We're going the same place. Apparently we finally got rid of that one. And then another one just appeared and it was even bigger and slower. It was unbelievable. Bigger. And so, we're using the perspective, everyone, we're using the perspective that we talk about on this podcast and mountain biking. We always say in life also is, okay, this is happening for us. We are not supposed to be going fast or not supposed to be further down this road for whatever reason. This is where we're supposed to be. And you putting the spin on it of, hey, this is just more time that we get in the car to hang out. And we were laughing hysterically. We were making so many different jokes.
Yeah.
I have a theory that goes along with this.
Oh.
I feel like the ride home is usually funnier and more fun and more joking than the ride there. Always. Because we've had certainly some great rides to the trails also. But I feel like that after you're done riding, the Stoke is high, like there's no anxiety left. You're not thinking about like, oh, what about this drop? What about this feature? What about this jump? You've done it and we're healthy and you're driving back. I always feel like the drive back is higher Stoke. Ride Left one at Gmail and YouTube comments. Let me know what you think. Sage, what do you think?
I think that's not a hot take. I think that's fact, my friend. That is what happens.
Oh, really?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Not to mention we're kind of delirious at the end of the day. It's all kinds of crap's coming out of our mouth. Yes. You're exhausted.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And that's one of the beautiful things about our sport, about mountain biking, is that it's mountain bike travel, going to bike parks, whether it's a week or a day trip, but going to bike parks, getting in the car with your buddies and driving around and talking about bikes and talking about life and talking about, but just that high Stoke level of people that you love doing the same sport, no matter how high quality their taint is. We all have the love of mountain biking, and don't judge us because we have to put a little bit of cream on our taint. We can all still have a good time. But I've been in the car with so many mountain bikers, and it's just like with Jeff Windsor and I drove 8 hours in one day back and forth to Sunrise, and his wife was like, what did you talk about in the car all that time? I'm like, biking.
Yeah.
Bikes.
What else?
I actually got his entire life story, which is actually very, very he's a very interesting guy. But I got his life story from the perspective of a mountain biker. You know what I mean? Like, oh, when you lived here, what were you riding? What trails? What bike did you have?
That's right. Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah. We usually give you the mountain bike tip of the week. And I have told you that I have some tips also, if you would prefer, if you don't have a tip on the tip of your tongue.
Oh, okay.
Wait, that's a double tip.
I didn't know where you were going with that. Yes.
We're getting back into the shake weight area also with a double tip. That's be careful.
You are welcome. I have a tip, but you are welcome to do the tip.
Danny's mountain bike tip of the week is a little coin purse that I like to keep in my pocket, and I keep electrolyte pills in there. You can get them. We use, you can get Light Show pills, and we use, there's different companies that make them, but essentially they're salt and minerals. It's the same sort of thing that we pour into our water. They're concentrated in a pill form. Get a coin purse that's 99 cents. Get some of these electrolyte pills. They're not very expensive. You can keep 8 to 10 of these things in your pocket. And if you start to cramp up, you can take these electrolyte pills and you can just chew them. They taste very salty. They taste very bad, but we used to call them awful, taste awful.
Terrible.
But we used to call them magic pills because they would make your cramps subside. Even better is if you know that you're someone who sweats a lot, if you know that you're someone that cramps, and it's hot and it's humid.
Yeah.
Stay on these electrolyte pills. Put the coin purse in your pocket. Every 2 hours, I'll just pop 2 of these things. and I still have my electrolyte, or I still have my water, and I just kind of stay ahead of it a little bit, especially if you're doing multi-day rides. So the rides that we did on Sunday at Mount Penn was unbelievably humid, and we lost a ton of sweat.
Yeah.
You can take them at the end of a ride. Also, these electrolyte pills might help you replenish, especially if you're not great at rehydrating. And then in the desert, I just thought it was a good time of year. These desert rides and the high humidity on the East Coast and any other place around the world. I just thought it was a good time of year to talk about something that I always keep that coin purse in my pocket. At least I try to, and it can really save you, or just kind of like level everything out.
Yeah, you know what I love about the coin purse is it's not waterproof, but yet it's kind of waterproof. Like it's rubber, and it looks like a bean with a slit in it, and so you squeeze it and it opens up, and you can put stuff in it. But because it's rubber, like if you put it in your pocket, your sweat doesn't get into it. So I enjoy it because if these pills ever get wet, like I've put my clothes in the wash, forgot that I put the coin purse in there with the pills, and then you just get the clump of it's just one big pill. It's terrible. It's like talcum powder. Yes, it's terrible. Yes. But that doesn't happen when you're riding, is my point. It resists the sweat. It doesn't go in that slit. So your pills are fine. Your pills are fine. That's funny. We're popping pills. But yes, it's a fantastic tip that I don't bring my coin purse anymore. I used to do that all the time. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Well, you don't really do any sort of XC riding anymore. However, I think you should think about bringing the coin purse, because you bonked in Sedona. You were dehydrated, and at Mountain Creek, we cut out a couple laps early because you just weren't feeling it, and that's the right thing to do. We could talk a little bit about that as far as using intuition on when to stop, because I almost did a couple more runs by myself, and I decided, no, my buddy wants to stop. That's going to be my cue to stop as well. But going back to the electrolyte, I wonder if you had been proper, because the next day you're like, oh, maybe I wasn't hydrated enough, and maybe that's why I started to lose focus towards the end. So maybe you need to dig that coin purse out of wherever you keep it and put it in your pocket.
I think you're absolutely right. I think you're absolutely right. Although I think that was more just start drinking. Like I'm just not drinking enough. I finished that Mountain Creek.
Sage,
at a full
you
bottle.
Haven't drank enough since the day I met you. You have not drank enough.
That's true. It's so true.
Like, why don't we work with what we have? Okay. This is how much you drink. It's not water. It's coffee. You are going to be dehydrated. Like, let's work with what we have. Get the coin purse out. Take 2 before you start the ride, 2 in the middle of the ride, and 2 at the end of the ride. And let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Know thyself.
It would have been interesting to see if that was the case and if that would have helped. You're right. That was, I would love to talk about that more too. Right. We didn't even talk about that, but yes, I was not feeling, there was something off. And I don't know if it was hydration. That's what we were assuming, but I was really grateful that I was smart enough to realize that. In fact, when I don't want to start a new thing here, but when I met with John, it was one of the things that we had talked about. Like he had stopped riding his bike for a while because he kept getting really bad injuries. And I finished that day and I was like, I'm really glad that I didn't push myself, because old Sage would have been like, I don't know when I'm going to be here next, but let's get as many runs as we can until, the wheels fall off. I was like, nope, this is the right time. I'm not feeling right. And I told you to go back up. So that's on you, my friend.
Yeah, no, it was smart. And there's nothing feels better than driving home and you feel good.
Yeah.
You're healthy. You had a great day. And I just didn't want to push my luck. I had enough energy to go up and do another 2-3 runs for sure. And we've done that in the past. But at the same time, it was like, I feel really good. That last run we had together
was
perfect. Money. I think both of us cleared everything. Yeah. I started clearing that really big jump toward right before the drop.
Yes.
And we were clearing everything in the beginning, those earlier jumps. I mean, it was just like, I was like, you know what? I don't know that we're going to get another run like that. It was so good. I know we can have 4 runs in a row where we clear everything. That's in our wheelhouse. But it just felt really good, and let's just call it, because and we were riding the next day. So it just felt like, why push it? But
yeah,
man, a lot of good stuff today, and intuition, listening to intuition on to keep riding or not keep riding. And we talked about all the different podcasts that certainly with the chamois cream and the wheel sizes and jumping and fear and overcoming fear and casing versus overshooting. Just a lot of great stuff in here. RideLaugh1 at Gmail, YouTube comments, anything that we have resonates with you, any topic that you want us to expand on. We love hearing your comments, and it helps the algorithm. So if you love the podcast, rate and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, tell your friends, and leave a comment. It can just be like, hey, thanks guys. That's awesome. And we have a lot of listeners that do that. So thank you. And if you're on your just a podcast player, leave us a review and all that good stuff to help the podcast grow. We're really excited. We love doing this. Thank you everybody so much for listening. Have a great week and a great week of riding. Ride and laugh.
I'll see you everybody.